Alright, today I'm going to be ranking the Bloodborne bosses. As you can see, we have them all right here on Tier Maker. I think I'm going... How do I want to do this? Alright, do it in order. First up, let's go with Gascoigne. Uh, let me... How do I... So this will be D, this will be F. Alright. Alright, let's do this. Gascoigne. So he's pretty mundane. In my eyes. He's the first hunter battle you have. Pretty fun. The voice acting is really good. There's also nothing special though, so we're gonna kind of put him in the middle. Let's see. Cleric Beast. Kind of similar to Gascoigne in a way. I mean, it's really the boss that teaches you how to play Bloodborne. So I'm probably gonna put him in C with them, but below Gascoigne. Next up is the Witches of Hemwick. They suck really bad, but at least they're easy. So we're gonna put them in D. I find like D is gonna be like the bosses that suck, but you can like just brush over and not have to worry about too much. F are the bosses that are just suck, but they're also kind of hard, so you actually have to try. Which there I think there's at least one. Next up, after that we have the let's. I think this is the Bloodsuck Beast. Yeah, same thing as the witches. I really hate this. It's just toxic or poison mechanic. It could stun knock you into a one shot, but at least it's a really early game boss, so you can over level or something and just take him down really fast, or you could just use pungent blood cocktails just to bait him into a corner and smack his ass. And he can be parried, which is kind of interesting. Next up, we have Amelia. Very similar to Gascoigne the Cleric Beast as kind of a boss in the. So I'd either put it at B minus or C. I might go B minus just because I think it's pretty fun. The only issue I have is on new game cycles. I feel like she has so much health, and a few attacks are kind of annoying with the hitboxes. But besides that, pretty fun. I like the cutscene as well. It's always nice. After Amelia, we have. Let's go with the. That is the. Well, I forgot his name. Lightning Beast. It's not bad. It's kind of like it's kind of like a throwaway boss. Just fight it, and then you get like a badge for the workshop. It's not nothing insane, I guess you could say. It's just a boss that makes sure you can kill it and get a little reward. I don't remember exactly what the badge gives you. I think it gives you bolt paper though. All right. Next up we have the Shadows of Yharnam, if I remember correctly. Right. Yep. Yharnam Shadows. Same thing. I really don't like them. They become just normal enemies later on. It's really annoying having to fight them. but at least they're kind of easy in a way, just as long as you don't get really unlucky and have them all just keep staying bunched up, because you have to put them around the giant tombstone to separate them, and if they just insist on staying together, it's really annoying. But you just want to make sure you burst at least one down before they fully enter second phase, and then take out the mage before it enters before third next, and then before third phase you could just keep hitting the last one and they'll dodge back. Next up we have ROM. I hate it. Now it's more D- than F, but the real big issue is it's just annoying to fight. It's like going through the Shrine of Amani in Dark Souls 2. You have to take it really slow, but there is also a good chance you can die if you mess up. Like, the spiders honestly do an insane amount of damage, and you can't just burst it down. The worst is if you accidentally do too much damage before the first teleport and make them teleport twice. You have like 2 waves of spiders going at you, and he's on his final phase attacks, which the homing rocks suck because usually like 1 burst kills me on most of my characters. The only thing that's kind of good is you can summon the Mensis Scholar, which is pretty helpful. After that we have the One Reborn. It's kind of like the Tower Knight with the other smaller, and I'm gonna put him in D. He's just kind of annoying. If you get too close to him, you usually try to do a charge attack, and then he hits you and stuns you out of it. You almost never die to him because he's really easy. He's weak to almost every type of elemental damage except magic, so it's really easy just to burst them down. Blood pellets will make your damage insane in the fight. He kind of just feels like a mini boss more than an actual boss, in all honesty. Next up, we are going with Margot's Wet Nurse. I'll put it in B. It's the big issue I have with it, because I could put it in A, but the big issue is the fog attack, because I never get hit in the fog, but I just have to run around in a circle for like almost a minute, and it feels like forever. Besides that, sometimes you just get hit by the swords when you really shouldn't have. It's fine. The only issue is the fog attack, it's just so annoying. Then after that we have Gehrman. Gehrman's great. The only issue is he can be a little easy. I love most of the stuff about this fight. The only things I have issues with is sometimes you can. It's weird because like you can parry him and then you just hit him normally, and then he'll get up and immediately do a heavy without any delay, which is kind of annoying, but it's kind of rare. Besides that, great fight. Most people would agree. Great arena, great everything. And then Moon Presence, kind of a disappointment. I wouldn't say it's bad, just kind of weird. It's just not as... really, in all honesty, the only reason I fight the Moon Presence, because it's an optional thing and everything, is just so I don't have to, I don't have to enter new game immediately. Like, I'll just have all the stuff so I can fight him, and then just, like, get out before I have to enter a new game. Also, I want to fight all the bosses, just because, it's fun. So, really, in all honesty, besides just not wanting to enter a new game immediately after killing Gehrman and having to worry about boning out in time, I would never fight this thing. next up, we're gonna go on the optional bosses. Let's go with Amygdala is just kind of, it's okay. It's pretty fun. I mean, if you go in there and a higher level character, you could just decimate him, which is kind of fun. Or in the Chalice dungeons, he's really hard because there's a lot of health, and you usually, if you do Defile, to one-shot you. But you can kind of exploit that in that way, in a way where you can get him to do specific attacks to show his head a lot. In all honesty, he's fun. It's not the best. I do kind of like the the third phase of him. I think it's a pretty cool attack pattern. Going in order. Let's go with Celestial Emissary is. I either put it as Seared because it's just fun to fight them and just whack them around. But it's also kind of easy. I'm gonna. It's fun. It's like D plus. It's just fun to whack them around. A little challenge I like to do is see if I can kill the big boss before he transforms into his big form. Next up we have. Let's go with Abritos. Let's go A. Really good. It's, I like you can fight it, like just hit it a bunch or just wait for it to expose her head. I'm fighting her a lot in the Chalice dungeons, because this is where you have to go to get the arcane gem, and she's resistant to it. And I specifically remember doing a defiled one and having to fight her. It was pretty hard actually in the dungeons, but in the main game she's not too bad. Again, you can summon the Mensis Scholar, which does help just get the aggro off you for a minute. He can heal you too, so it's pretty so you can fight her that way. Story's pretty good on her too, with the whole she's the blood mule pretty much. So the only issues I think I really have are her second phase. Some of her attacks can be really weird. Not in like the way they're designed, just the way they like hit. I guess you could say like just like sometimes they hit when they shouldn't. I know her Call Beyond sometimes just shoots through her. That's really annoying. Besides that, it's pretty fun. Next up. Well, I forgot to Mikolash from the main game. Okay, yeah, just really annoying to fight. Because he can call beyond you, but as long as you're on a new game cycle, it's not going to be too bad. And then Logarius. I'm gonna go A. I really like it. The issue I have with him is there's just a couple attacks that are kind of like the jumping attack where he jumps up in the sky for a minute and just slams down. That can be a little wonky sometimes with when it hits. And honestly, the delay on it gets me a lot too, but just really, it kind of feels weird sometimes. Besides that, the only other thing I really don't like is the lingering hitbox on when he does his sword tornado attack, where he plants a sword in the ground. That is kind of a lingering hitbox, so you can't immediately go into it. You have to wait a second after he plants it and then go in, or else you'll knock you down. Alright, DLC time. We're gonna go with first DLC boss is Ludwig. Great fight. I love it. The only issue I ever have with him is because I want the Moonlight Sword so much, and he's pretty hard, so you have to go in a low level character to fight this thing. That's the only issue I ever have with him. Really fun though. Aesthetically looks great. I have his boss theme as my alarm, so the music's great too. Story's great, and the only thing I wish was when after you kill him and his head's on the ground, I just wish you could that was like a quest line you could, because I know you could like say like yes to his question and die peacefully, but I wish like it was like a quest line where it tells you to do stuff like that. It would be so much fun. But as it stands now, still one of the best. Next up is you can fight Lawrence next, and I want to like him so much, but because if it wasn't just let's just say the cleric piece didn't exist, the designs are really cool. The story is great and everything, but it just sucks so much. Just how much damage he outputs. Like, the second phase will really get to me because it's like you can't stay behind him because there's always lava. He can stun lock you, especially in the second phase. So you have to make sure you stay away from him. His closing speed in both phases are insane. Like he will jump across the entire fucking arena in the first phase, or in the second phase he'll do a really quick crawl towards you, and his damage is way too high with too much health. Like he would probably be C or D if he didn't if the second phase wasn't so ass, but as it stands, the second phase is garbage. Now to the Living Failures. I feel proud because they named that boss after me. I'm gonna go with probably C. It's another fine boss. It's kind of like the Four Kings in there's four of the same enemy. But it's not too special. Like, I feel like this boss could have been more in a way. Like, I feel like maybe like have like an idea I had was what if they made it like these were like how the other people in the research hall were crying for Maria. Maybe have these people crying for Maria too. Maybe look a little different and have them like really great speech throughout it, because that would be really cool in my opinion. I feel like they could have just done a little more, but it's fine still. It's not too bad. Yes, really the only issue I ever get is if you ever get comboed by two. Like, they use the little Call Beyond or Moonblast, and the other one headbutts you. That's the only thing, really. Honestly, I actually feel like these guys have so much health. That's the only other thing. Like, I feel like there's like on my Blood Tinge build with the Chikage, I can like go through these pretty fast, but on some of the other characters, I just can't. I feel like it takes way too long. Maria and Koss. Let's go. Maria is awesome. I don't know how much. The only issue is you compare her so easy, but looks great, plays great. I know they were initially gonna have you be able to like talk to her before she died, which would have been awesome, and I think that would have made it S+, in all honesty. But I still love I love weapons like the Chikage, the Bloodletter. Dark Souls 3, you had the Bloodlust. Like it uses your own health as a weapon. So the only issue I really had with this boss, besides the parrying, is when I got the Chikage, I really was disappointed that it wasn't a blood tinge weapon, because there are only two really like actual blood tinge weapons, and that was the Chikage and the Bloodletter. But they're both kind of hard to get on a low level character, so you can't really do it early in the game. That's a little off topic, but I just wish that the Rakuya was a blood tinge weapon where you could the transformation, if you did the same thing Maria did, maybe fully charged heavy, slower, but it has like the fire effect. That'd be awesome. And then Koss. I'm gonna go with probably. Where should I put him? Because He is really hard. It's really fun to fight him. I go A, just because it can be annoying to fight him. He has a few attacks that really don't like the one where he grabs the juice out of his shrimp and then throws it at you. It's really hard to dodge that one for me, because it usually hits right behind me and hits me anyway. You know, I really like the boss. I feel like sometimes it can be a little annoying. Uh, it's it's, it kind of reminds me of Gale in a way, uh, where it will like you want to do good in the beginning, cause which is the easier part, or else you're really not gonna have a chance in the end, the later stages. Uh, I've I've had times where I can actually make him a breeze with certain builds. Sometimes where he was actually really hard. Uh, Even the cheese on this guy, the one where you parry and then hit him, is pretty hard because you have to get a really precise parry timing. But I do like him. Uh, can't say much about the old. I can't say anything really bad about the old Screaming Shrimp Man. And let's look back on the tiers just to make sure everything looks about right. From this, I think I'd move gas going up and put those two guys a little better, and then from this, I think these two just deserve to be moved up a bit. Uh, yeah, that's about right. I feel like these two guys actually, you know, a little hard on them. Well, if that's it, here's my final list. You guys can say if you agree or disagree with anything. And remember to like and subscribe.